Alaikum, my name is Hana Hamdi and I'm a sophomore at Rutgers University and I'm majoring in biomedical engineering.
Hi, I'm Hafsa. I'm a freshman at Rutgers University and I'm studying engineering.
My name is Yusra Sayed. I am a third year at Rutgers University and I'm studying political science and Middle Eastern studies.
Hi, my name is Bentali. I am a Rutgers student and I'm majoring in biomedical engineering.
Okay, first question is, why is it that you wear the hijab?
I wear hijab personally so people challenge me for who I am and not what I look like. Society today, a lot of times women wear like skimpy clothing to get like guys' attention and then guys treat them like as objects and they objectify them. Being modest and wearing hijab challenges people, everybody, guys and girls alike, to get to know me for who I am as a person. And ultimately we wear hijab because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to wear it, and it's a protection of our modesty and like society as well.
Personally, at this point in my life, the main reason I wear it is because I just want to be close to God and I want Him to love me because I love Him, and I think the love that you receive from God is greater than any other kind of love that you can get or receive in this world. So I just feel like, if you wear this, you're pleasing God, and on top of that, it just brings you closer to Him.
We are commanded to wear the hijab, so doing that means that you are listening to God. So you have to take into account that you're doing it because you are worshiping God and you're listening to everything that He says. So you can't just pick and choose from Islam and say that you don't want to wear hijab because you just don't like it, or you can say that you don't want to pray. But hijab, it shows that you are taking that as a responsibility as a Muslim to wear hijab because God told us to.
When I started understanding the purpose of hijab, that it is a legislation not by my father or my husband or anyone like that. It's actually a legislation by the Creator, and our Creator knows best what harms us and what benefits us. And everything He commands us with a love for our betterment and our benefit. So on that basis, since my Creator has legislated for me that I cover my body and I not display myself out in public to those who don't necessarily deserve for me to display myself to, that's when I thought it was a good thing to do.
When did you start wearing the hijab?
I actually started wearing the hijab in 4th grade, and at first it started out because I knew I was going to have to start wearing it. My sister wore it around that same time, and it was something that my parents' families did in their families, so I knew it had to come. But at that time, I don't think I really fully understood the meaning of hijab, because obviously I was at a young age. In 4th grade, you're 9 years old, and I think as I was wearing it over the years, I started to understand what hijab actually meant. At first it was just something I wore on my head, but then it became something that you actually understand what is the purpose of hijab, and you understand why you're covering yourself because you start to mature from it. And actually it taught me a lot of different things, because then I started to realize why we're here on this earth. We're not just trying to please everybody by our looks, we're not trying to please people, we're actually trying to please God, right? And worship God, because that is our purpose in life.
I started wearing it after my freshman year of college, so it was during the summer, right after school ended. I started wearing it. So college is a time where you're trying to find yourself. So freshman year, I came in. I always, had my religious beliefs. It was always a big, important part of my life. But when I came to college, I guess I was trying to find my identity more. So, I clinged to my faith. And I just felt, I was embracing it more, and the more I studied it, the more, I fell in love with the religion. I understood that, if you want to be really close to God and you want to practice it the way that you should, I just felt like this was a part of it, that I had to wear this.
I started wearing hijab when I was about 8, for practicing purposes, and then when I turned 11, I started wearing it all out.
I started wearing the hijab exactly 6 years ago, when I was a sophomore in high school. But before that, I didn't used to cover.
How do you feel wearing the hijab?
I feel awesome wearing hijab. It's very soft. No.
That's perfect.
Hijab is very liberating and empowering, and I feel like as a woman who wears hijab, like people don't interact with me because I'm wearing short. People interact with me because they see how I act. They see that oh, she's a nice person, or oh, she's smart, or oh, she's this, and it's more of a personality thing than it is like an image.
At this point in my life, I'm 21. I think it's the best decision I've ever made.
Cool.
Yeah, actually best decision so far. Praise be to God for that. I feel satisfied, spiritually satisfied. It's a great reminder, of what your true purpose in life. Besides that, I'm proud of it, I guess.
I really like wearing the hijab. When I started wearing hijab, I used to wear just regular shirt on pants. Then I started wearing skirts. Then I started wearing the full overgarment, and I've loved it, and I've continued to increase in it, and I feel very confident with it.
Has your life or personality changed after you started wearing the hijab?
It definitely has. Hijab makes you, I started from a young age, but hijab even now, it makes you realize your actions and what you're doing in public. A lot of times, it just makes you aware, and you feel like you're accountable for the things that you're doing, because you feel like you're a role model for all the other Muslims out there. And oftentimes, when you're doing actions, you don't want to do something bad because you don't want to make it seem like, oh, I'm wearing hijab and I'm following God, and I'm doing these wrong things. I'm setting such a bad image for Muslims out there, and you take that into account more, and that kind of goes into your mind and changes what your actions are.
Yeah, I think in the long term it's been about 2 years. So I think wearing the hijab has definitely contributed to my growth. Where I was 2 years ago and up to where I am now, I definitely see a big difference internally in terms of my spiritual peace, my connection with my faith. It's due to a lot of different things, but I think the fact that I wore it definitely helped.
Yeah, I think it has. As a kid, I was always very shy, but because I wear hijab, it has put me in a lot of situations that have challenged my confidence and my courage, and so I feel I'm a lot more outspoken and a lot more confident because I do wear it.
After wearing the hijab, I started becoming closer to my creator, and I've started tasting this sweetness of faith, I guess I would say, and I feel that sweetness, people try to fill in their hearts that void, through music or love or all these things, but really there's a void in your heart that can only be filled by you knowing your creator, knowing his beautiful names and his attributes. And after I started covering, I started knowing more about my creator, so I felt that void was filled, and I felt much more at ease and much more at tranquility with myself.
Is there an internal aspect to hijab?
Yeah, definitely. You have to keep that modesty too. Even though hijab on the outside is a manifestation of covering yourself, covering your body and your hair, on the inside it keeps you modest because it's a constant reminder of what you need to do as a Muslim and how to keep modest at all times.
Internally, it's not to just, to have this sense of decency, shyness in front of people, which doesn't mean you don't talk at all, but just appropriateness, especially when you're around people of the other gender.
Hijab, there's not just oh, you wear something on your head and you cover your hair. Hijab is it's a mental Islamic consciousness where you constantly are aware of who you are and what you represent as a Muslim woman. People look at you and they say, oh, that's how Muslims act, because they know from what you wear that you are indeed Muslim.
What do you think your future with hijab is?
My future, inshallah, God willing, I like to keep it on until the day I die. And I mean, I just, like, I guess practicing hijab better than I am right now inwardly, because it's not only an outward thing, it's, internal as well, because you can always be improving yourself. So I feel like I can definitely work on that, because every human being can.
Well, I will definitely continue to wear it, inshallah, and I hope that, like, even though I started wearing it at 4th grade, I can see from then I've definitely learned a lot more about hijab since then, and I hope that every year, at every day that I wear it, I continue to learn more and more about it, and realize why I'm wearing it. I see benefits in it every day whenever I'm just living my life, but hopefully I learn more about it.
I hope to continue wearing hijab until I meet my creator.
Do you feel limited by hijab?
Limited? No. I honestly don't feel that at all. Like, even some people, they think we're being oppressed by wearing hijab. I don't think we're being oppressed at all. We're being protected, actually. Like, God, has the wisdom. He knows that women can be seen as objects like that, and He's protecting us from that, because now we have so much more value added to us by wearing the hijab. We have a voice, we have a mind, we have ideas, instead of just looks and skin and beauty.
Okay, makes sense.
I don't feel limited at all. I feel like it's a liberation for me, spiritually, intellectually, physically, in many different ways. So it's not restriction. It's just it expanded my freedom.
Not at all. Not at all. I feel like hijab has brought out the most amazing parts of my personality. Alhamdulillah.
I don't feel like I'm limited by hijab. You can basically do anything, but you have to accommodate yourself to the right environment and the right situation. So, for example, if you want to do sports or the like, you just have to find, something that's all girls. You have to find a good time to play the sport. So maybe after sunrise or, things like that.
Have you went through any negative experiences wearing hijab, like any discrimination or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't think it has been as bad as the stories I've heard, but because the community that we live in is such a welcoming community, and there's a lot of Muslims, but at first when I started wearing it, yeah, it was hard. You get these weird looks all the time, and on buses sometimes people are just staring you down, and you feel kind of unwanted, but you shouldn't let those kind of stuff bother you, because it comes from the intention.
Surprisingly, alhamdulillah, praise be to God, no, not really. I mean, I'm sure, people have thought things and maybe they said things, but I really can't think of any right now. I don't remember. At my college, it's very liberal environment, very open and tolerant, so I haven't experienced anything over here.
Yeah, I've gone through the generic, go back to your country, or why do you wear that thing on your head? And I've gotten, lots of stares and stuff, because I moved a lot as a kid, so, we were constantly changing schools, new people, and, I went to one school that had, no hijabis and, no Muslims. So that was really interesting.
No, I have to say, I go to school. I pretty much integrate very comfortably with the, Muslim, non-Muslim environment, and people really respect you because they when you speak to them and you address some of their concerns, because people have many misconceptions and they're unfortunately fed much misconceptions, misguidance from the media.
Lastly, do you have any funny story to share about any experience with your hijab?
I mean, you just see random comments that I think are funny, but,
Such as?
Why do you wear that? Do you shower in that? Do you sleep with that? Can you take that off when, I don't know, when you go home or something? I don't know. People just ask ignorant questions because they don't know.
Funny? Surprisingly, not really. Yeah, for me, maybe I was in Spain. I was in Spain this summer. People over there, they look like they've never ever seen a girl wearing a hijab, so they'd stare a lot and I don't know. But besides that, funny stories, not really.
Yes, sometimes people may look at a niqabi. A niqabi is a person who covers their face, and they'll say things like ninja. And one time that happened to a sister, and she just started making ninja moves. It was pretty funny.